Hey kids, this is Jack. Welcome back to Harmony Point Zoo. This is my Planet Zoo Let's Play in franchise mode for those of you who have just joined us. We've pretty much finished up on the Arctic area, which is over here. As you can see, I mean, it's quite extensive. It's larger than Africa, in fact. And I still haven't finished decorating it. I still haven't finished developing it. I am doing that in between episodes so that we can concentrate on building habitats during the episodes. Speaking of building a habitat, this is weird. Are these not on? Have these been not on the entire time? Wow. How about that? This is the first I've noticed that these info boards have not been on the entire time. How about the speakers? Yeah, the speakers are on, but the habitat boards haven't been on. That's very strange. Anyway, speaking of building a habitat, as I cleverly segue into what we're doing here, I wanted to do one last thing in the African area before we move on to Asia. As requested by people in the comments, we're going to do Asia next. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to put in a combined habitat that involved hippopotamuses. But I'm wondering if I want to get regular hippos or if I want to get pygmy hippos. Because you don't see a lot of pygmy hippos. I mean, I've seen people use the regular hippos, but I haven't seen a lot of people use the pygmies. So I'm thinking we might use the pygmy hippos. Let's see. Yep, we will adopt him. And alright, doesn't look I've got a ton of choice, so we will go ahead and adopt her. Why not? Let's work it out. Oh, and hey, look, guys, it's raining again because this zoo doesn't get enough rain as it is. So, what I wanted to do, I had this idea. I saw fantastic otter habitat of all things on one of the discords I'm on Zoofluencer's Discord, and it gave me an idea for, believe it or not, a hippopotamus habitat. Now, pygmy hippos, that's not the place I wanted to go. I want to go over here. Pygmy hippos. Let's find the pygmy hippos. Pygmy hippos. Where's it? Pygmy hippos. Pygmy hippopotamuses. They need not all that much land area, but they do need some water. The tropical and aquatic, from Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and Ivory Coast. So, you know, right along there, as you can see. Anyway, like I said, they don't require a ton of land, but what they do require is water, and you know, they're a tropical species. So I'm thinking I'm going to put them in right about here. And I wanted to start with the terrain. Let's see. I don't want it that tall. I only want it there. Okay, and we're going to be adding. Alright, let's see. Okay, the sable antelope are dangerously fighting. I'm going to put this on pause so I can handle this in the meantime. Alright. Is that about right? I think that's about right. Here's how I'm going to test to see if that's the right height. Yes, I know that's not an African board, but what I want to see is this. Yeah, it's pretty much the right height. I only wanted it basically one wall size high. So, what we're going to do... Whoops, I hit the wrong one. Let's let's do this. What we're going to do now that I've got this one piece of area done is we're going to do this. I'm going to reduce this to about that. To about an area. Whoop! Excuse that, folks. That was my insulin alarm. It's telling me that it's time to take a shot. However, I will do that after the recording. You know, trust me, it's perfectly okay if I delay it by a couple of minutes, and this is not going to be that big a delay. I am an insulin-dependent diabetic. I think I've mentioned that before. I've been giving myself shots for a long time, and I don't really enjoy it, but it's just one of those things that, you know, I have to do, so I do it. And, you know, just a part of life. Now, my idea, since they don't require a lot of land, I'm not going to need to do a lot, but I also wanted to include like a keeper's hut and maybe a power, you know, water and power back here too while we're at it. So I need a little extra land, but not much. Well, I didn't want it to be that depressed, so let's bump this back up just a touch. Okay. There we go. Let's just make sure it's not too high. Oh, for crying out loud, I keep hitting F1 when I mean to hit escape. Isn't that dumb? And now it's a little too low. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to eyeball this and see if I can't... Jeez. Okay, we're going to eyeball this, like I was saying. We're going to see if we can't get it the right height. You know what? That's close enough. That is close enough for me. There, that's better. Somewhere in the middle between those two extremes was what I was going for. About like that. Now I don't mind having this little extra hill back in the back here. That works out just fine. In fact, multi-layered you guys already know how much I love building multi-layered terrain in my habitats, so that having it like that, no problem whatsoever. That's just fine. Now I do want to smooth this out some, like this. Okay. Alright, let's get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. Alright, now I need this. You'll see why in a second. Go all the way around. Fill in the hole. That's right. And if it looks like I'm doing a back wall, it's because basically I'm doing a back wall. That's alright. That's alright. That's exactly what I want right there. Now you're probably wondering, what exactly is going on here? Well, let me show you. Let's get this smoothed out. What's going on here is this. We're going to reduce the size of this path down to 6, I think. Yeah, much better. Ah, for crying out loud. Really? Okay. Well, you know what? There's a way to get around it. Okay. I love it when a plan comes together. I truly do. Okay, now we're going to bring this back around this way too. Like this. Okay. Okay, well, you know what? If we can't bring the mountain to Muhammad, then what we can do is we can bring Muhammad to the mountain. I am perfectly willing to do that kind of thing. You see? I'm not proud. I will do what I have to. So now that we've got the basic terrain and path, we can do this. We can do this number and fill it out a little. Okay. Now, what was the point of all that, you wonder? Well, the point of all that was that. Let's switch to soil. The point of all that, which you're probably still wondering because I haven't explained it, is to basically provide one long underwater viewing area for the guests. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan to me. You know why it sounds like a plan to me? I'll show you. Okay. First, I need some rocks. We know where to get rocks. Rocks, 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 rocks. Lots of rocks. These rocks, in fact. Okay. Now I'm going to double up on this. Maybe even triple up on this, because I want it to look like one solid wall of rock. Like so. Alright? Now, let's talk about barriers. Okay. Okay. Now, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing what my idea is yet? I hope you are, because I'm putting this together and it's coming out exactly like I wanted it to look in my head. So far, so good. I mean, you know, we may encounter difficulties later on, but right now, this is just working perfect. Let's see. No, come on. You were there. You were there. Stay there. Good, 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 good. This is going to be so epic. Okay. Let's increase the height on this just a touch. Just a touch. Perfect. Okay, now these right here are all going to have windows, and it's all going to be glass. And is that the right? No, I don't think so. Let me turn it around. There. Good, good, good. Okay, you seeing it? Everybody see it? Now, here comes the tricky part. Oh, come on. This ought to work. Maybe. That might be the solution. I'm hoping it is. A little too much water. You know what? Screw this. What we'll do is we'll raise the land. You know, if the problem is too much water, then by George, we will raise the land, right? We'll put in some more rocks or something back here. Let's, one last thing. I want to make sure that there's a nice gentle slope so that the hippos can get in. Alright, everything cool? Everything cool? Everything cool? Let's try it. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. Now, one more thing. And this is going to be tricky, but one more thing. Oh, come on. Fine. Fine. I know it's going to work. I know this is going to work. I know it's going to work. Let's just lower the entire thing into the ground to there. It's always going to have a little bit. Okay, all right, I accept it. It's always going to have a little bit where, you know what, I don't care. At this point, that's fine. That's fine. I am so easygoing about this. You know, this is going to be fine. Of course, it's not going to be fine if I can't find a place to put my habitat entrance. All right, I think that's cool. I think this works. Let me smooth out this part of the land now. So that, you know, the keepers and the animals can actually... What the hell? Can actually get down into the habitat. What the heck is that all about? I'm serious. What is that all about? Oh, it's the gate. Yeah, I see what it's doing. Okay. So let's put it to the animal test, shall we? This went quick, and I admit that it went quick because I had a clear vision in my head about what we were going to do here. I just hope that, you know, the terrain isn't too much. that it's able to navigate around the habitat. If not, I'm going to put in handicap ramps. Animal versions of handicap ramps. We'll use the ramp rocks. Okay, let's restart it. While we're waiting for that to happen, let's look at first. When's the last time oh, well, that's why. Okay, sable antelopes are fighting. Let's look at the sable antelopes. It's gonna be right. Let's just release them to the wild. That generally, releasing animals to the wild generally stops them from fighting. Okay, here we go. It's getting dark. That's not necessarily a good thing. Why is it not got enough terrain? It ought to have enough terrain. Oh, you know what? It's not the space, it's the... Right. Okay, so let's deal with what it needs. It needs... Okay, too much soil, too much rock, not enough short grass, needs a little sand. So let's get the short grass going. Okay, not enough rock. All right. Okay. Plants and cover just aren't there. It needs quite a bit of it. Needs hard shelter too. So let's look at the specs for the pygmy hippo. That's cool and all, but this is an African. Okay, let's see. Shelter for bisons. Small African shelter. Yeah. Yeah. That's not bad. Also include some plants and such. Speaking of plants and such, they're not the right, not all the plants are the right plants, so let's go ahead and get rid of the ones that aren't. And of course that'll be most of them. Aquatic and tropical. Okay. Tropical and aquatic plants. Let's go ahead and dump the blueprints. I'm gonna plant some rocks to cover up the holes. That was actually a suggestion made by somebody else at one point. I think it was Feeney. I think it was Feeney Pop, now that I think about it, who suggested that, you know, I add rocks to one of the habitats to cover up the holes, and I don't remember which habitat it was, but it was good advice at the time, and I took it, and of course I'm taking it now too, because, hey, good advice is good advice, right? There. I'll be honest. I'm going to move these up here. I gotta love designing habitats in the dark. It might be my second favorite thing after root canal surgery with no anesthetic. Yeah. It looks like I'm substituting a piece of mossy rock for actual like dirt and stone to make a level floor. You're absolutely correct. And you know what? I think it works. I think it works. Did not mean to do that, but I think it works. There. Alright, so let's see if they're okay for shelter. They're okay for shelter. They still need more plants. Let's see. What do I got in store for plants here? I got African tropical. This is always good. Remember, kids, never be afraid to make use of somebody else's blueprints, because if they didn't want you to use them, they would not have made them. There's no shame in using blueprints. I use blueprints all the time. I've made blueprints so other people can, you know, because not everybody is a good builder. Not everybody, you know, not everybody sees things and wants their habitats to be certain ways. Some people, we're going to pause this for just a second. Some people get beautiful visions of what they want, but then have no idea of how to execute it. And with those people in mind, you know, there's that's why the blueprints exist. It's to help out people. It's to, you know, here I've been creative, and I want you to enjoy some of the benefits of my creation, of my creativity. And there's absolutely, you know, don't let anybody shame you for using blueprints when you're doing zoos, because there's nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing. Everybody uses blueprints. I mean, for crying out loud, the lady designer who in my opinion, may well be the best. I mean, sorry about this, Rudy. Sorry about this, Paul. Sorry about this, Zoof. But Lay Designer is probably the best Planet Zoo Let's Player out there. And she did an entire zoo using, pretty much nothing but blueprints. So don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't use blueprints. Don't ever. It's just, and if they try, tell them they're wrong. Tell them to come talk to me about it. Tell them to come talk to me. I don't care. Because I will fight them over it. It's, it's ridiculous. The entire idea is just ridiculous. I know what I want to do with this. What I want to do is this. I'm going to put this in the background a little, like so. And then I'm going to do this. All right, let's talk about some food and water for these beasts. I've always liked hippopotamuses. I mean, they're not necessarily my favorite animals, but there's something majestic about hippos. There's just something majestic about them. And of course, they're one of the most dangerous animals as far as humans are concerned. They're one of the most dangerous animals on the planet. They really are. They kill dozens of people every year in Africa, and you just have to respect that. Now, granted, we're not talking, you're talking full-size hippos. What is it? The third largest land animal on the planet, I think. But still, that's impressive. Let's look at toys. Okay, let's give him a hanging razor. Give him that up here. Give him an excuse to travel around. And a rubbing post. We will put the rubbing post up here. Okay, we will put the rubbing post over here. Give him a tire. Hey, British people, you spelled tire wrong. Ha 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 ha. I regret nothing. Yes, the age-old fight between English spelling and American spelling, and of course the problem is, it is the English language. They call it that for a reason. It's their language. They saw it first, but then you consider that when it comes to influencing world culture, the British have taken a back seat to the Americans. So there's an argument there that, well, maybe our spelling is the correct one now. Okay. Let's double check this. Okay, they're good for that. Can they reach the water? Tell me they can reach the water, please. Yes! Look at this. Look at this, boys and girls. Look at this. Oh, one of my gray seals is about to die of old age. That's a tragedy. Embrin, we barely knew you. I'm sorry. But, animals get old. I'm going to need to find a replacement. Okay. She's died. That's very sad. I'm calling a keeper. We'll be back to the hippos in just a moment. First, I'm going to replace the seal. We're almost done with this episode. I think it's been an amazingly successful episode. Because, you know, I wanted to get one last habitat in. I wanted to get, you know, the Ember. Somebody out there is naming all their seals, all their female seals with a certain pattern, and I seem to be adopting them. Okay, call that. Now, back to our hippos. Let's make sure that all the necessary workers can get to them. Africans. Ah, I wanted to be so close and it put me so far away. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I have like a bunch of African work zones. I've got a bunch of Arctic work zones for that matter. Okay, so our hippos are in the program. They haven't hit the water yet. Ah, there he is. Well, hello there, you beautiful boy. This is my thumbnail for the episode. That right there. Thank you. Boy. Now, there's still decoration to do, you know, around the thing, plants and shops and, you know, all that number. But this is a successful habitat. All right, folks. With that said, I'm going to bring this to a close. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your kind comments. If you liked this video, by all means, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I can always use the subscribers. I'm one subscriber away from like 170 subscribers. And while 170 is not a lot in the long term for a small tuber like me, it's, you know, hey, that round number. Anyway, while you're out and about, please be safe. It's still kind of hazardous out there. And be kind. Always be kind. Because it costs nothing, but it can change the world. Kindness can change the world. You guys take care. Bye-bye.